This episode is presented by Shaw. One of the most difficult things to cope with in football is fixture congestion. I remember the games piling on top of each other over the Christmas period. It's so intense, and you have to keep your levels high the whole time. But when you're feeling the pressure and you want to keep calm and a clean sheet, Shaw's non-stop protection range of antiperspirants is a good start. It has 72-hour non-stop sweat and odour protection that will keep you fresh and dry on and off the pitch. Shop now at Boots. Shaw. It won't let you down.
Happy Christmas, everybody. We've got 3 days to go. Boys, you all ready?
I'm ready.
Like presents wrapped up and stuff, yeah?
Just about. Just waiting for the big man to get down the chimney, Anna.
Yeah, can't wait, mate.
Be honest, how many have you bought yourself and wrapped yourself?
Bought 3 for the wife, wrapped none.
I haven't wrapped anything yet.
What about you? What about you?
Well, theoretically, I bought all of them.
Have you wrapped any?
I haven't wrapped any.
Do you know what I want to do is, I used to, when I can't do it anymore because I get told for being told off, but I used to put them when I was younger in tinfoil, wrap them in tinfoil.
Come on.
But you can't do that anymore.
Come on.
Not as a man, a grown adult.
When you buy them online, you can choose gift wrapped. So now I just pay the extra sort of $3.99 or something.
Not where I'm buying them from, Ben.
That's my only mistake this year, then.
Amazon, do you know Amazon not offer? No.
Yeah, in tin foil.
All right, let's start with Villa Man United, lads, because I really enjoyed this game, actually. Villa, they're just a very good team, aren't they, Water?
Yeah, I enjoyed watching the game. I was sat in front of the fire, glass of red wine. Couldn't get any better yesterday.
That's Christmas setting, that,
Christmas
by the way.
setting.
That's
Christmas
perfect
setting.
for that now. Can I just quickly say, before we talk about Man United, right, you dropped off, well, we've got a friend who delivers logs. We've got a fire, same as you, right? And he dropped off 2 ton of logs 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, and I've just got through 2 tons of logs
So
in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. I placed the order for him, and I texted my mate and said, "Can he get more logs for Fozzie?" Do you know what he texted me back?
What?
What's he doing? Fucking eating them,
Mate, honestly, absolutely, every night we
2
rattle
ton?
for it. Every night I've got the fan thing on the bottom bit, so no air.
No, you must be having it full blast.
No, I promise you, mate. I promise you, we put it down low, but we start our fire at 3 o'clock every day. So anyway, don't worry about it. Villa, yeah, go on. What were you saying about Villa?
I was going to say that I thought Villa played really, really well.
Yeah.
But Man U had the moments, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they'll analyse the 2 goals that Villa got and from a defensive point of view, be so angry with themselves.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. But what I liked about the game, well, you can say, I've always said Emery has game plans and that. But Watkins, what about the runs when he just sucked them in and they putting him down the side?
It's perfect for how to stretch a team.
He's good at that, Watkins.
Yeah, how to quickly stretch a team is such a skill because everybody's in disarray, yeah? Because everybody has to just drop everything and go, oh, no, we've got to get back because we're miles away from everything here. But I think Roy Keane got it bang on afterwards about just the sort of the dedication to really, really stop goals going in. The second goal, Dalot. The first goal, Dalot.
The first one was Euro.
Yeah, sorry, but that's bad. But the Dalot one, not stopping the cross in the first instance. There's no real, it's not even a thing.
There's no
fine, just go on,
intensity
turn and go.
to get to the ball, right? So to get out to the ball, that's my thing. We were chatting when we were off camera, and I was like, getting to them is one thing, there's no urgency. But the way he gets turned
so easy. He's nowhere near it.
But it's not cool to defend properly now, is it? Obviously. What we want is to go and see some goals get
You know who did it early doors? That Aiden Heaven.
Yes, he did.
Did you see it? He got right up into... And so as soon as the ball's coming into... I think it was Watkins. It was, and the ball was coming into it. And as soon as the ball's coming into it, Aiden Heaven got, literally touched high on him like that. And I'm watching thinking, that's old school defending.
But that's how you have to defend,
That's perfect. Do not give them any space to get the ball down comfortably, turn around, do something special with it. Premier League players, mate, they'll punish you.
I think Euro, arguably, that was worse than... well, actually, I don't know. Because the way where he plucks the ball out the air, Rodgers, unbelievable touch, by the way.
Yeah, but you've got to
where he is at the pitch, Watto, how does he score from there?
Honestly, mate, if I'm a defender on the touch, I've got to get really quickly across there. But I'm showing him that he's got nowhere to go, and the rest of my team can get across.
Do you know what it is, right? I promise you this, right? It's these defenders nowadays, they don't want to get exposed by somebody doing them quickly.
No, yeah.
They don't want to be made to look
like a Doku type.
Yeah, they don't want a meme of them later on, of them getting absolutely negged or twisted or turned or something like that. So they stand off. So the ball comes into somebody and they stand off and they go, right, this way I can really sort of shimmy them and hold them up sort of thing. But if they're good enough players, which Morgan Rodgers is, bang bang on their out foot. They need that split
The one
second
thing
to get the shot
I did like was the ref's thing, the view on the goals when he showed you that. It was pretty good, wasn't it?
He was watching it like a fan.
Yeah.
The referee was watching that goal like a fan, and I'm surprised that you didn't see his head give a little nod as if to go, what a strike.
We haven't talked about United for a couple of weeks because they've been on the Monday night games, haven't they? But we're halfway through the season now. What is your assessment for them so far?
They still seem like they're missing in 4 or 5 positions. There's still 4 or 5 positions, I think, where they need a real big, strong boy, somebody that's very, very world class in that position.
Right.
I think that's what they are.
I thought when you looked at Cuna's face when Martinez and Cash clashed, and I'll come back onto that bit. But you saw his face. The camera somehow went to him, and he was thinking, Sesko. You know what I mean? You could just see the...
Really?
Yeah.
And I think they're really lacking there, Man United. I mean, Emi did really well on one of the actions. He came out quick, didn't he, and blocked it.
Yeah.
But you're still thinking...
He just
to play... I never think goal when he gets an opportunity.
Don't.
There's moments within games, like defensively, the 2 goals there, you could argue definitely that United should have done better. But when you look at it as a whole, they're 4 points off Chelsea... No, 3 points off Chelsea in 4th. Yeah. They finished, where did they finish last year? 16th or 17th?
16th they finished,
Something like that. They're
not a million miles off
They're in striking distance of the top 4. It is improving.
I'm talking about if they want to be back to United.
Yeah, but that takes time.
It does take time. But what they've done is, over the last 5 years, they've spent multiples of 50, 60, 70 million pounds on players, right? That if they would have got that player right, then they should be there, right? So Man City have done it and Arsenal have done it, right? There's others that they get wrong, but if Man United do it properly, they should be there because, like, you look at the back line of Man United, right? Yeah. Would any defender for that Man United team, any defender, get into any of the big boys? Would they get into your Liverpools or your Arsenals or your Man Cities? Would any of them?
I think you could make an argument into Liverpool, yeah.
I don't know.
I think you could.
Would you start one of them ahead of Konate?
I think
Konate's had a bad time.
I think you take your pick over Kirkes, personally.
Yeah, possibly.
Konate.
Still, I'd start Robinson.
I'd go De Ligt personally.
Oh, I don't know, But it's much more muchness then, yeah? You're not going to improve any of them teams, right? And what I'm saying is they're good players, but they're not going to stop goals like this. They're not, because they're not willing to really do the dirty stuff.
Yeah, in fairness, like in United's defence a little bit, like you look at the last window, right, and they've got Mbeumo, you'd say they've got that one right.
Great signing.
Cunha.
Perfect signing.
You'd think he's going to come really, really good. Yeah. And then you got Sesko.
No.
I think it's TBC, isn't it?
Hold on. If you had to rate that out of 10 for a signing so far, what would you say?
So far,
it's a 3 at best.
It's a 3 at best. It's a 3 at best, which tells me it's not worked.
And that's when I look at the players' body language when they had them opportunities. Like, they see it every day, don't they? So I don't think there's a surprise for them. Obviously, look, you've got your thing with the African nations, haven't you? But they lose, obviously, Mbeumo, and it looked like they were a bit short, didn't it?
The thing is, they have got some absolute world beaters. Like you say, Cunha, when Cunha gets on the ball, you just think, you could do anything here, mate. You are an athlete as well, by the way. A specimen, isn't he? Yeah. He looks like he's taller than what he was at Wolves, by the way.
He's got it all.
Looks like he's taller. And then when you mix in with a few others, like Bruno, for example, like you've got world beaters and you've got winners as well. And I think they're the ones that have been getting them through.
Yeah. Look, I think if you said about Amrin, I think finally starting to get a bit of a tune out of the team and the group of players, isn't it? And it's gelling how he would like. Again, if they would have recruited a little bit better in that forward or 9 position, they could have won that game yesterday. You know, obviously, he had a couple of chances. Sesko, Cunha misses an unbelievable opportunity with the head, doesn't he? He has to score that. But the one talking point I would really surprised with is that I thought Emi were going to have to come off. I really believe. I thought he were knocked out when Cash's knee hit him and his head hit the floor. I thought and when the medics were there, I thought they were trying to get him off.
Yeah.
I nearly phoned Big Steve at Southampton just to see what he thought, because I think that would have been a real interesting discussion what medics at other clubs would have had on that. I thought.
You know what? It's impossible to have that conversation out in the open, because if all medics were honest, they would look at that and go, don't like that. No, because I think even us having been in that sort of world and seeing what it looks like, you know sometimes when somebody's a little bit gone.
Emi you could see afterwards he was really trying to like.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine, mate. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
he
And
was,
I'm sure he is fine, and I hope he's gone and been absolutely fine. But with the new rules coming in, you've got to be so careful with it. But for Villa to have lost him at that moment in time would have been massive problem.
Oh, it would have been massive.
It would have been a massive problem because everything he instills into that team, honestly, it's
I mean, they had
level.
absolutely fly. Like I was watching something yesterday, and someone was asked, "Are they in a title race?" You have to say yes. Like I think, what have they won like in a row? Is it 9 or 6,
Do you know what
6, 7, 8 in a row?
They're so hard working.
Is it 10? Is it 10?
Yeah.
10,
They're
it's
so
unbelievable.
hard working, and everybody in that team, right, you've got very, very good players, but every one of them works hard. And the difference is, I just think with some teams that they've got good players, but they don't necessarily work hard. And Villa have got good, very good players, and they work very hard
Do you know
as
what
well.
I liked the post-match where Morgan Rogers was being interviewed and he kind of referenced, he said, Emery's a genius, which is obviously blowing a bit of smoke. But then he said he's been in these situations before and he knows what to do.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, he does. He absolutely does.
When I say work hard, like I think what he means there is when he said something about we just worked a bit harder, and they were working hard anyway, Villa were, but it's the intensity is what they mean. When they say working hard, everybody's got to do, because you've got to do certain things. You've got to track back if you're a fullback, you've got to get forward, you've got to do all those bits and bobs, but the intensity to do it sometimes can be a bit higher or a bit lower, depending on the state of the game, because you can't always have 100% intensity. You just burn yourself out. So it's about doing it at the right times, and I think Man United worked quite hard in the first half, but Villa worked harder than them in the second half, and that was the difference.
The thing is with United, though, like when they, with the press and stuff, they do work hard.
Yeah.
It seems to me the one-on-one kind of moments where they're not getting out quite fast enough.
Quite sharp enough,
But like on the whole, like you have to, we were talking last week about Thomas Frank and how good a job is he doing. They were, 17th last season or something, and look where they are now, they're slipping down the league. So I think most United fans, I would hope if I was one, would be
thinking there's progress.
There is positivity because they've had to ship out, the Rashfords, the Garnachos. Obviously now they've got this Kobbie Mainoo headache. So what's the crap with that?
This is a really interesting talking point, because Kobbie Mainoo, what's happening with him? Why is he not playing? There's been so much media press coverage about him. Amarin said something last week as well, and then some of the young lads at the club went and put an Instagram post out. And I'm just thinking, I'm watching it thinking, what on earth? How have Man United got to this state here, this place where young lads feel like, oh, do you know what? Has he said that about me? I'll put this Instagram picture out. Honestly, it's an absolute disgrace. It really
It's really
is.
sad for a club that traditionally have really brought on and supported young players to get into their team. And look, I don't really understand what's happening with it. I mean, he were potentially going to be a superstar, weren't he? And
Isn't it over the contract? So my understanding is that the timing's a little bit off with it. So United, rightly, were doing that whole, listen, we're not just going to throw 150 grand contracts at someone that shows any promise. And
then they've gone and signed Cunha and Mbeumo, who guaranteed Chesko, who are on 150.
So obviously, Kobbie Mainoo's come through the system, showed real promise, played for England in the Euros, and he's not probably got the deal that he thinks he deserves. Yeah. But United are trying to draw a line in the sand.
But like I say, they're trying to draw a line in the sand, but then they sign Cunha on a couple hundred, 150.
So it feels like he's being penalised because
he is. I understand that he would be rightfully annoyed at not being looked after like that. I understand United's stance as well, but then they go and give the other players contracts anyway. But we don't get to see behind the scenes. Obviously, the manager does. The whole of the football club do. And I would say that if Mainoo is not even featuring, he's not coming on. Like, he brought Martinez on yesterday, right? He brought Martinez on for Bruno Fernandes. And I'm thinking, what on earth is going on here? Something's happening,
You'd want to try and get it resolved, because how much, if he lives up to his potential, how much money would you have to pay for someone like him?
You don't know what he's like behind the scenes. There has to be a reason why he's not involved, right? The manager sees it. So I don't know what his attitude like. I don't know what he's putting in training. Is he really working hard enough to get into that team? Because if you've got a player with his ability, because he is an unbelievable player, and he's working hard as well, then he should be involved. He should. But we don't know.
But he's obviously down tools in some capacity, because the manager has alluded to it in press conferences.
Is it the contract situation then?
It must be
but
that,
if you're
mate,
downing tools, it doesn't matter if the contract situation. If you're downing tools, you're not going to get into the team.
What about the T-shirt with his brother? Because apparently Kobbie Mainoo was aware he sanctioned it, like the brother thing.
Honestly, mate, it's a disgrace. What are you doing?
You've just got to leave that alone.
Genuinely, what are you doing? This is what I'm saying. Like, so obviously this happened with his brother's shirt, and then the manager said about these young players and their entitlement, and he mentioned a few players out on loan, maybe struggling or whatever, and then they went and put an Instagram post out of them celebrating or doing well or a bit of success with the team that they're on loan to, and obviously everybody jumped on it and said, "Oh my God, you've only done that because the managers said," and so they've quickly deleted the post. But back in the day, mate. Honestly, that would be you done at Man United. I don't care how good a player you are. I promise you, right? If you were one of those young lads that did that, you'd never see that football
But
club
to be
again.
fair, I think Amorim is getting. Look at they're on loan. The Sanchos, the Rashfords, they're out there.
Yeah.
They're not at the football club.
Yeah,
He is dealing with it.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have even dreamed of doing that because they wouldn't even come back to the football club.
Yeah.
I promise you, the manager would have said, when your loan is finished at the end of the season, do not even step foot back in that
that's
football club.
What the football world has changed, and when they are an asset worth Jadon Sancho, right? When he is on paper worth however much, you can't just sack him or bin him off, or the club won't allow Amorim to do that because that's too valuable.
I do, and players and people are completely different to what they were 15, 20 years ago. They are. Like, you can't, you're not allowed to treat people like that anymore. But now, players they're still kids, really. Players are kids now. Back in the day, they used to be men, didn't they?
Yeah.
They used to be men, and they would deal with things professionally, and they would do it properly. Even if they had little tiz, but they would go out, have to have a conversation with the manager. Nowadays, they do it all through social media. They'll put a little slide dig out, a little text, or, no, I don't like it. I really, really don't. It shouldn't be happening at someone like Man United. It shouldn't. You don't see this at Arsenal. You don't see it at, even Liverpool, really, you don't see much of this kind of stuff. Or Man City.
But again, it is a process to get these players out. The culture, we've spoke about it for 18 months. The culture change doesn't happen overnight.
No,
it does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And like when we do look at it, you look at the Premier League table now, and you go, they're not 100 miles off.
They're not.
Of Champions League football.
There is definite progress. They're 7th at the minute. It's definite progress. They're 26 points.
Yeah.
I think they're in touching distance of getting Champions League this year. They're in touching distance.
If Bruno Fernandes is out for a bit, though, they'll miss him.
Yeah, they will miss him massively.
And
He's the heartbeat, isn't he, of that team?
He's been good for him, actually, as captain. So they could be in trouble.
We're not making this into a Man United thing anyway.
No,
Villa were brilliant, and you'd say probably deserved to win the game as well. Probably deserved it.
What about the Spurs-Liverpool game? So, big talking point, Xavi Simon's red card.
It ruined the game, first and foremost. It ruined the game because at that point, it wasn't actually a great game at that point, to be honest. It really wasn't. But I thought Spurs were probably the better team. They were still probably it was two teams that looked pretty low on confidence, actually. Yeah. But it kind of ruined it because at that point, then Liverpool just went, all right, cool, let's just go in and play.
You knew what was going to happen.
You knew what was going to happen. But it was so, like, what is he doing? Like, he's not, I don't think he's actually trying to hurt him, but what are you doing?
Is it just clumsy or?
I think it's a bit clumsy, but I think Verge plays like that. There's been 2 or 3 times
Yeah,
this
yeah,
season.
He's his leg a bit back.
And he just really entices somebody in. And look, I mean, it looks a lot worse than what it actually is, and Van Dijk played it up a little bit. But I do think he's sucking them in a little bit, and ultimately it did change the game. But for Liverpool, it's a massive win. But we were talking before we started, weren't we? I mean, it's a great finish from Isak, but if reports are true that he's potentially done something quite serious, then that's not
such a shame.
It weren't a nice tackle.
Just starting to get going.
It's a shame, and that you never want to see anything like that. But I think for Liverpool, what it does is it just makes them go, right, Ekitike, you're the boy.
Yeah.
You are the man now, right? You've had a fantastic season so far. Just focus on scoring goals now, okay? There's no doubt about whether you're going to be starting. It's not you and him, and it's just going to be you now, okay? Which I think for Liverpool actually might help them a little bit, to be perfectly honest. Yeah.
What would you be saying to your centre half if Ekitike got up and nodded one in like that? Do you think it's a foul?
So this is for the Ekitike header,
the header again.
on Romero.
I think the reason why he didn't give it as a foul because it was Romero. If it was a smaller, slighter defender, I think he'd give it as a foul. But because it's Romero, who is very big and physical and strong and blah, 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 he's gone, right, I think this is a bit of a battle of 2 players and Ekitike has just come out on top.
I mean, we've got the technology. It's 2 hands in the back.
It's a push.
It's a foul.
It's 100% a push.
There's no world of... I was really surprised on
If it goes to
Match of the Day with Harty and Shay Given were split on it. And I was like,
it's not.
It's a foul.
The reason why he hasn't given it is because it's Romero. I promise you, right? And the way the Romero goes, makes it so, like, you just think, Romero, mate, if you actually challenge for that and somebody's pushed you in the back, it's a foul, and you can see it's a foul. But he makes too much of it. He makes it seem like in any other instance, right, Romero does not go into any tackle or any challenge like that, does he?
No.
He only goes into it when he's trying to buy a foul, because he knows he's been done by the ball, he knows he's been done, and he's above him, which is just, sometimes you can't get away from that.
No,
he's gone, right, I need to just try and act like I've been fouled here now. Yeah. But it is a foul.
So, like, with the VAR, the checks are taking so long now, and all we see now at half-time is way more than we ever used to, is this bringing up of the rules, right? What I want to know, in these VAR checks, is someone sat here with the rules going, was this excessive force? No.
There'll be a checklist. It's a checklist, yeah.
Because that then takes away from what real football is. Because you want players that have played and know the intensity, the speed. You want someone that's retired within the 18 months a neutral to go, no, listen.
Do you know what it is? VAR is shit. Yeah? Get rid of it because it's shit.
It's not going anywhere.
I watched the Wrexham game against Swansea on Friday night, right? And I loved it because a goal's a goal and everyone runs off and celebrates, all right? And it's as simple as that. You go and watch a championship game. A goal's a goal because everyone runs off and celebrates because the lino's already ran away and the referee's ran away. It's a goal. You know what it is.
It's never changing though, is it?
A goal goes in and you don't even celebrate because you're waiting and you're going, well, there'll probably be a phase of play 3 minutes ago that there was a handball or a lead
His
up
toe
to
was
something
offside.
that's going to lead to something. They'll find something to disallow it anyway.
It is shit.
It's shit.
It is shit, yeah. Because, we'll come on to the Newcastle game, but can you remember when Palmer went down in that Newcastle game?
And they were all waiting.
Baltimore missed an unbelievable chance.
By the way.
He should have scored, shouldn't he? Because the game over then. But I think they'd have to come back to that foul.
Of course they would have done.
So he'd have been they're thinking 3-0, game done, but they'd have to come back to that foul because it was a foul.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But if then, imagine though, that they'd have come back and then disallowed it because of that. But in the build-up to the actual goal going in where Newcastle played on, somebody went and got injured in that process as well. So there'd have been a disallowed goal, Palmer's injured, and then Newcastle have got a player injured, or Chelsea got in the thing because the referee just let it play on.
Well, Gusto, they were all going mad with Gusto, weren't they?
Yeah, sure.
But if someone stays down,
oh, mate, honestly, I just think we've created a monster.
We have.
But it ain't going away.
Well, sorry, quickly talk about Spurs, if we talk about VAR and all that, but the lack of emotional control from Spurs in this game is embarrassing. Honestly, it's absolutely embarrassing, which isn't a great look on the manager, I won't lie. Yeah, if your players are doing things like this, like kicking out like Romero did, the lack of emotional control is phenomenal.
Well, we spoke about Thomas Frank a lot, haven't we? And every week I go, is he still the guy? Every single week I ask that question. And he's come out after the game, and that for me was the game where I thought, you've got to come out and give some of them a bit of a kick in it.
No, he didn't.
No, but what I'm saying is that I think he should, because one, Xavi Simons has got sent off, and do you see him coming off and crying his eyes out, and you're going,
lack of emotional control.
Mate, come on.
Come on, mate.
Come on, grow up a bit.
Crocodile tears. Mate, I've had enough of it.
Grow up.
It's crocodile tears is what it is,
But then
it's
Romero Ben as well. He picks up the second yellow right in front of the ref.
Yeah.
Right? And
he's looking at the ref when he kicks it.
Yeah, and you've got how many games to come in the next 2 or 3 weeks?
Such a busy
You've let your team down there.
Oh, he got Christmas off for. He'll have Christmas and New Year off. That'd be nice.
If Frank gives him Christmas and New Year off.
But I agree with what you're saying. Afterwards, you want Thomas Frank to go and start naming names and going, do you know what? They've let us down today, to be fair. But what they do is they use it as a, you know what? Did you see how much we fought for this game? Did you see how much it meant to us? We were the ones pushing it with 9 men in the 95th, and we were the ones.
It's still discipline.
You come off you try and turn it and go see us, we are fighting. It's not that. You shouldn't. You should come out and go, do you know what? They've let us down. 9 players we finished the game with. 9 players. We should have been in with a shout for this game. We really should. Liverpool were there for the taking, and some of our players have let us down.
What do you make of that Romero one? He has. It feels like he has let the team down there.
I think he'll be still frustrated with the goal that he conceded and the push. Because you can see when he comes through the back of him, you're like, ooh, you know what I mean? And I think there's some real emotional or lack of control on the emotion there. But for Thomas Frank, I think it got him a jail card because they have 2 men and he said, we give Liverpool a game. But I'm a bit like you. I think the time for all that's gone a little bit with Spurs now. You know what I mean? Ultimately, last year, they won a trophy and are now playing Champions League football. That team at the minute is nowhere near that Champions League spot.
Talking of VAR, lads, plenty going on in the Newcastle-Chelsea game. Can we? It was a 2-2 draw, right? It was a good game actually.
It was a good
game. A game of like literally 2 halves. There you go. But the big VAR call was about the Chalobah on Anthony Gordon foul. Pen, basically. What?
I thought it was a penalty.
Pen.
Right.
What are you saying?
I've got a little bit of an alternate theory.
Okay.
First of all, it's another one of those instances where somebody has to decide whether that's a penalty or not, and whether they want to one day or the other day. That's my problem with VAR. It's completely subjective, right? Completely. The only reason why I think he hasn't given it and why VAR didn't give it is because Gordon goes into it looking for the penalty. Yeah. When you go in shoulder to shoulder, anywhere else on the pitch where it's not in the box, Gordon goes into that and he knows what's coming. He braces and he's solid, yeah? And both players probably butt shoulders and they might both fall or they might both stand up. In this instance, Gordon knows he is going solely to just try and get the contact. And that's the reason why he goes down so easily. It's because he's solely going to get contact. And that, I think, is why VAR have gone, you're not actually trying to get the ball, to try and do something with the ball. All you're doing is going in looking for a penalty.
I think Gordon going down easily is a bit unfair. He's got absolutely polarised.
I'm going to say it's a bit of a... But I think Gordon, as the attacking player, has every right to
go
do what
for
he
it.
did.
I totally agree.
And I think the defender...
He's proper,
Yeah, but if that's anywhere on the pitch, yeah, you know it's coming and he knows it's coming. You brace yourself for it. You get a solid base on the ground, right? And he didn't because he knew what was coming. And he knows the whole scenario, he knows the whole situation, and he does it just so he can go down as quickly as
isn't there a big
possible.
difference between like a classic 50-50 where you come together and there's a shoulder barge and you know it's coming? And isn't there a difference between barging someone out the way?
No. He knows what's coming. Anthony Gordon knows a barge is coming. He knows everything that's going on in this situation. He's clever enough, he's quick enough to see it. I promise you, he knows what's coming, right? And he's made it look like he's been absolutely poleaxed. The fact that you both have said it. But he knows what's coming, yeah? He's gone down for an absolute meeting. He's not in control of the ball or anything like that either. And that's the reason why he didn't give it as a penalty. But on another day, he could give it as a penalty.
So, was it a pen?
I don't know.
If we get rid of that shit VAR, I think the ref should be... pulled over the coals, because he should just give it anyway.
But the referee should just decide on the pitch there and then. And on the pitch, he didn't decide because he's got the thought of VAR and he's got the thought of them looking over it. And if he's got it wrong, they can help him out, yeah?
But they didn't.
So this is what we got now, is referees not making decisions because they know they don't have to. Because somebody, if he's made a big glaring mistake, will just help him out. So they're not making decisions anymore. And the ones that are subjective are just on what the referee does or doesn't do in that instance. But he's not making full sound decisions anymore.
It's a mess, isn't it?
It's a double mess.
It's so
mate.
frustrating to watch. What about the Garnacho foul on Ramsey? I think it was. Was that massively different from Xavi Simons?
Not really. No. Not. But it's exactly the same as what we've just said. It's not really different. And on another day, a referee could go, that's a
There's been a lot of those type challenges lately, hasn't there?
There has. I agree with what I said earlier. I think some players are getting cleverer to it, where they think, if I just leave that trailing leg there a little bit, and he's just going to stand on it, and players aren't necessarily trying to like rake their studs down. They're almost like, if they've got their head up a little bit, they're not seeing his foot down there, and that's when you start to get them ones. But it looks awful on a slowdown. It does, and it's just as bad as the Xavi Simons one.
Well, that's why he has got away with it.
Yeah.
It's like normally, again, we can't paper over the cracks with VAR, but the still image has to be a different outcome, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Can we talk about, I want to give Anthony Gordon some love.
Yeah.
Mate,
he's brilliant. I love him.
He's classic. Do you know what? He makes a yard. He'll either beat his man or make a yard and get the ball in every time. I've got the theory that, so in the summer, we talk about it all the time, but with the number 10 situation with England, Morgan Rogers has been playing from the left. Well, does he start on the left, Morgan Rogers? Does he start as a 10? Does he start at all? But for me, Anthony Gordon is the most perfect wide player for Harry Kane.
Do you know the problem with Anthony Gordon playing for England is that we are much better than 98% of every other team we'll ever come up against, right? And he doesn't need to play his style of football in them games. We need a winger who's just going to stay there, and when we get the ball to, just go and deliver. Anthony Gordon's all action.
Yeah,
he's
he
back
is,
and forth,
yeah.
and he's tackling, he's giving you everything he's got. And that, I think, is when he is at his best, is when he's doing all of it, because he feels really part of the game. That's when he feels like he can do his best stuff. And when he plays for England, he doesn't get the opportunity to have to really track back, because he doesn't need to, because nobody's really attacking us that much. So he has to just sort of almost stay where he is. And I think he feels a little bit like, I'm not contributing so much if I'm just doing this.
Yeah,
That's my little bit of a worry with Anthony. I love him, though. I think he's so
he's
good.
phenomenal. But like Tommy T might think latter stages of a tournament when it's actually going to be a proper game,
you
might need him. You know what I mean?
Totally
because
agree,
I think what he can bring offensively for sure is still very, very high. But like the work against the ball, I think
it's a good shout. That I think I wouldn't really want to play him in the earlier stages, but then if you start as somebody else, and they're on fire. Are you then willing to drop him for an Anthony Gordon?
His delivery's so good. I just think, like, for Kane playing as a 9, like, his delivery has become so good now.
To be fair, any of those other ones that can play in that haven't got bad delivery.
Yeah, that's true.
Marcus Rashford's delivery at times is not bad.
What about Reece James at CDM?
Possibly, mate. I love Reece James.
Yeah.
I think he can play anywhere along there. I really do. He's just that good. He's that much of a specimen.
He is like a modern-day player.
He's quick. He's so strong. He reads the game well. He's brilliant technically. He could play anywhere in there. He really, really can.
And his free kick was a very good free kick. Was Aaron just caught a little bit on the...
a little bit flat-footed to start with. I think he has to get his feet popping a bit quicker than what he did. I think he'll watch it back and he'll be disappointed it's gone in, only because it's there. It's that high. It's about a metre off the ground, isn't it, when it goes in off the post? And I think he will look at it and go, do you know what, I need to get my feet firing a little bit.
Do you think both the goals, the goalie coach would, like Aaron, would probably put his hand up and go, for both goals, I could have maybe done something differently?
Second one's a little... Sometimes you just get really unlucky and you come out and you spread yourself and they put it in a little pocket there or a little pocket there.
Yeah, I think
he's just think, oh.
He's read the situation for the second. I think, you can break it down technically, but 9 out of 10 he probably stops it. I think I'm a bit like you on the first one. I don't know if it's because he's not played so much, but if it goes right in the top corner and you've not been able to spring and get there, but because it's only a yard from the corner, from the height of the field, like, you're thinking you should get that. And I think, look, you can see with his face, for somebody of his ability, he's still trying to make his way at Newcastle. He wants to be on the plane to America for the summer for the World Cup. So when all them things are there for you, you expect that he saves that.
Yeah, what's it? I think it's probably his fourth or fifth game now since he's got back in the team.
Yeah.
And in fairness, it does take a while.
Yeah.
It does. It takes an absolute while to really get up to speed again. But I'm sure it'll come anyway.
And João Pedro's goal.
Yep.
Really good touch. Really good finish.
Yeah.
And my question for you boys was that in the 66th minute or whatever it was, 67th minute, something like that, Robert Sanchez has picked up the ball.
Robert Sanchez has done another good game, by the way.
Yeah.
Robert Sanchez has been
he's been really good, hasn't he? But he's ran around his box, found the space, kicked an absolute worldie for João Pedro. But I'm just looking at that thinking, as a Newcastle forward player, shouldn't they be harassing him? Yeah. Shouldn't they be making it a bit harder for Robert Sanchez?
So Malik Thiaw, when Sanchez has got the ball, first of all, he has to drop a little bit, because if he plays it over the top of him, then João Pedro's in. He knows João Pedro's rapid, so he has to drop a little bit. But when the ball's on its way, bang, go and get up tight. Yeah. You have to go and get up tight, and he didn't. The problem with it is he left that gap all the time. And so João Pedro is kind of looking at him thinking, oh, my God, you're not going to shut me down here, buzzing. If I can sort of almost get an arm on you, hold you, and then flick it and run.
He slipped a bit, didn't he? And
but he allows himself to slip by not getting up close. And as soon as somebody pushes you a little bit, and it is only a little bit of a push, then you're asking to be pushed over, really. And I just think at the moment the ball is played, you have to go get bang up tight, and you were the one that's pushing João Pedro. Because as soon as you push João Pedro could have said, he's thinking, oh, for God's sake, like, here we go again, it's a battle. But it's too easy for him.
What about the Newcastle forwards on Sanchez? Like the point I was making earlier is...
No, that's where I have the problem with it, because in the modern game you are isolating, whether it's your fullback or your centre half, it's 1v1, 2v2. You leave these situations, but when you leave them situations, you've got to affect him with the ball, and you've got to take a cheap yellow. You can't let him distribute that at that time, because it gives them the momentum against you. You're just trying to keep them pinned in there, but it's a real weak mindset just to think that you're going to deal with it. We've got to be, as a team, and not allow him to do that, because that's really when you're really vulnerable at that point.
Watto, do you think that streetwise and nous element is going out of football a little bit?
Well, I think it must be because, like, obviously I've not worked at the level now for 3 years, but, like, things like that, with my experience, that's what I'd be saying to our forwards, because we'd be very brave, we'd be high, we 1v1, 2v2. So what don't you want? You don't want the goalie catching it and having an easy distribution. So they're reminders that you're saying to your wingers, your 10s, certainly your 9s, if it's in there, stop him getting out.
Yeah.
And if it has to be a foul, it's a foul, that's it.
Yeah.
This is where I think it's going out of the game. I do. I think this is why going out on loan when you're younger to all of these lower leagues, lower divisions, different leagues, different country, and seeing that style of play, because they might not have the technical ability, but they've got nous. They've got so much more nous, and they'll have different work rates, and you need to be exposed to that to see all the little tricks of the trade that you really like. The top players have all got it, you know. The top players all understand what's going on and when to slow things down and when to stand in front, like take a cheap yellow card or those little bits and bobs. Like, just going out of the game now, it's a shame.
It does feel like the one that always gets me is the short corners. The amount of times the short corners. I think that is something that at any age group that
Bane of my life,
you
short
teach them.
corners. One of my biggest bugbears as a goalkeeper was them taking a cheap short corner, getting it to about the corner of the 18-yard box and being able to put an unopposed, lovely whipped ball into an absolute box of melee of big 6'2" men. I'm thinking, what are you doing? Like, you're asking for a goal to be conceded if you just let them do that. But players are so quick to just switch off nowadays. Like, the corner gets given, they all go, oh, I can take this opportunity to breathe and get I'm relaxed and just walk back into position.
But the players never have that autonomy now, do they? Everybody looks at the set piece coach every time there's
Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. Wow.
And that's what I'm saying. You think big Voltemada's ever been told by a coach, you make sure the opposition goalie's not balling that ball out. He's thinking about flicking one in, doing whatever he's doing.
Fair play to Big Nick, another 2, by the way.
He should have had another 2 after that, though. He really should have had another 2 after that. A couple of absolute stinker sitters. It was a good. Do you know what? It was a good game. Fair. Game of 2 halves. Newcastle were unreal first half. Chelsea were brutal, nowhere to be seen. But then second half, like I say, just scoring that early goal, I think, is what changed. Goal, big moments, big goal, and then that's it. Chelsea are on the front foot from there on.
Should we do the Monday night predictor?
Go on.
So last week was United Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, none of us picked 4-4.
Imagine that.
No. What did you go last week?
I think I went 2-1 to United.
I think I went 2 or 3-1.
I went 2-1 Bournemouth.
Right, so no points.
No points.
All round.
So tonight is Fulham Forest, right?
Yes.
This could be anything.
This could be a sneaky good game,
This could be anything. Yeah. This could, really could. Go on, what?
I think it's going to be a good game, just with the way the weekend's results have been. We'll come on to West Ham, but they're 5 points away from safety now. So I'm fancying both teams to go for it. I have a sneaky feeling that Fulham will have a 1-0 win.
Yeah. I've got a sneaky feeling that Forest will win 3-1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going for a good score draw, 2-2.
I think Fulham have maybe got 1 or 2 that have gone off to AFCON, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
they've got Alex Awoy. No, Nigeria in.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they are.
Nigeria in. I'm going to go for a Forest 3-1 win.
Okay. Did you see that bicycle kick last night, by the way, in AFCON?
No. Oh, Morocco. Yeah, I did.
Unreal. Was it Morocco?
Yeah, Morocco. Yeah. Unreal.
Unbelievable.
Unreal. Where are we going? There's a couple of games that we don't really need to talk about this week, by the way.
Right.
They were miserable. So should we get them out of the way now?
Right. Brighton and Sunderland, 0-0, boring draw.
It was
cracking.
It was a boring draw.
Yeah, done. They'll both be all right this season.
If you click on highlights, which I do, and I watch a lot of highlights, no like full game, I watch highlights.
Okay.
The Brighton Sunderland one is the worst highlight reel you will ever see.
So let's just
move on.
And then can I do a 10-second summary on Wolves?
Go for it.
Right. Wolves 0, Brentford 2. 10-second summary. Jeff Shee steps down as chairman.
Yep.
Wolves lost 10 in a row. Keane, Lewis Potter double. Cracking save from Kelleher. Wolves getting relegated. I think the record for Derby, Wolves, 4 points behind. Something like that. So Wolves getting relegated.
I know this was supposed to be a 10-second summary, but I have to talk about the Wolves penalty. It wasn't a cracking save. It was a very, very... I think if my nan, who has been dead for 20 years, fell over, she would have said that.
Just wheel out the coffin and put it in the goal.
Honestly, Wolves need to take a good hard look at it. This penalty, is a disgrace, right?
Well, it epitomises everything that's happening.
Right. So you're bottom of the league, you're struggling like you wouldn't believe, and he thinks he can just bowl up to this penalty, nice and look how big, and look at my ego. Like, this is what it looks like to me, yeah? Look at my ego. I'm so good, I can just stroll up, and I'm full of confidence, honestly, and I'm just going to roll it in the corner. Goalie's going to... What is he doing? Honestly, it's not in the corner. It's at a snail's pace, and it's halfway across the goal. Like, Kelleher must be going that way thinking, oh, my God, really?
The boos.
What are you doing?
So as soon as he missed that penalty, the boos
Without
around the
doubt,
ground.
mate, it's an absolute shambles, mate. Get your foot through it and absolutely welly one.
Do a
Go,
Victor,
right, lads, come on, let's
Victor
go.
Gyökeres.
Mate,
Boom.
do a Victor Gyökeres. Put your foot through
Anyway,
it.
they'll get a few more games for the season ticket money next year because you get 23 home games at Championship, don't you?
Yeah, you do, mate. You do, yeah.
that was the 10-second summary.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We haven't even done Arsenal yet, by the way, lads. Arsenal, fair dues, mate. This is a good win, this, you know. Really good win. Everton have only lost one game at home this season, you know. One game in that lovely stadium. And this had a proper banana skin written all over it. It did. So fair dues.
I'm with you. I think this gives them that little bit of belief to go and win that title.
Yeah.
Obviously, the top at Christmas, it were a big 3 points because I weren't sure they'd get that one over the line.
Yeah.
Well, they've had a couple now. So they had Wolves at home, which there was some good fortune there. And then this one, and like you said, potential banana skin. But got to ask you, Fozzie, Jake O'Brien, what's he doing?
I think he's forgot what position he's playing. I think he feels like he's got gloves on or something.
Do you think he's a second rower in the line out or something?
Yeah, it's like, do you want a penalty, lads? There you go. Sweet as a nut. They would have been buzzing with that Arsenal. I think even the referee can never get that one wrong. Even they haven't got to rely on VAR.
I think that's a gimme.
But I've got one for you because I think the ref got it wrong late in that game. Honestly.
The penalty?
Yeah, Saliba Barrett.
Yeah, no.
Now tell me, how's that? He's not a penalty.
But this is what I'm saying, just get rid of it. Because the fact that somebody's looked at it, the referee one has made the decision wrong, then somebody's looked at it back on VAR and still not decided on
I was watching the game with a massive Arsenal fan and I've gone, penalty. It's a penalty.
It has to be a penalty.
The game's still going. I said, mate, they're coming back. That is a penalty.
Yeah.
And honestly, his face just dropped. He thought it was a pen.
Of course he did.
Oh, my God.
Mate, everybody thought it was a pen. I'm the same as you. You watch it and you know it's a penalty.
pen.
But because the ref didn't get it on pitch, the VAR then are influenced by it. So it's just compounding everything.
Yeah.
It's just compounding everything.
They've now kind of got away with a couple of Arsenal, haven't they? You know what I mean?
They have, yeah.
They beat Wolves, like everybody's beating Wolves, but they did it in such a weird fashion. But then to go into that game and get through it, I'm lost with it.
I'm happy
VAR.
with Gyökeres. I'm happy for him to score the goal, by the way, because that.
Well, at least he thumped the penalty.
penalty. That's like when your confidence is maybe a bit low, like Wolves players mostly are, and what Gyökeres is a little bit. To be honest, he hasn't really scored for a while. Your confidence is a bit low. Do you know what? You need to really try and dispatch this penalty. Thump it, And he's gone the right way, Pickford, as well, but still thumped it in the corner.
You don't save that.
And I looked at his face just as he's about taking. I'm thinking, go on then, mate. I like this. To be fair, I
So
like it.
5 goals in 15 Premier League games.
Yeah.
So I think 2 or 3, maybe a couple of pens, are they?
Yeah.
So if you gave Sesko, what did you guys give Sesko?
3.
A 3. What are you giving Gyökeres?
5 or 6.
5, I'm at.
5, 5. Yeah, 6 is too much. 5. I'll give him a 5.
Okay.
I'll give him a 5.
But I'll tell you who's a centre forward that you'd all want in your team now.
Go on.
DCL.
DCL for England, lads. DCL. I love it, innit? It's brilliant. This is why, right, being a goalie sucks so bad, right? If I went on a little run of 5 or 6 games where I had a stinker, you're out the team, you're gone, you ain't going to be seen again for a long time, You could have 5 or 6 good games. It's like, well done, mate. You're doing your job. Simple as that, right? DCL scores, what?
6 in 5.
6 goals in 5 games, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. There's not many Premier League players that can do that. We're talking fantastic number, but it's DCL for England. I love it. But do you know what? If he plays like this and carries on playing like this, I don't see why you wouldn't go DCL for England.
I don't think he's right. I don't think he's right for England personally.
All right, hold on. He carries on this scoring rate, right? And between now and the end of the season, the next 20-odd games, right, he scores 18 goals this season. Is he going?
Well,
And let's have it right. Tommy T said that England are going to do long throws. 2 of them goals are from long throws.
yeah.
Come on.
You'd have to say yes, but you look back at when he was at Everton and he couldn't buy a goal, could he, really, towards the end? And I think with DCL, he just suits a team like Leeds. He suits that a team that will get the ball in the box, and he's been feeding off of some scraps. He's been getting some goals.
Fairness,
Where
some of the little moves he's made. Defence is pushing out and he's pushing in, and he's judging it to perfection. He's banking on the.
He's great in the air,
and he's moving in and not. I'm thinking,
but he's great in the air, and his movement has been good. But I think that DCL is not one of those players that is going to be. I think time is his enemy. So when he's got time in front of goal and he's played through one-on-one, and he's got, I don't think that's him.
Haaland's the same.
I think he's a penalty box player where His movement's decent. He gets in amongst it. He's superb in the air.
It's a little bit like Morgan Rogers now. It's this recency bias. It's, oh my God, he's on fire. He has to start for England. And I just think, hold on a minute. We've got 4 months left. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were calling Callum Wilson 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Don't get carried away with anything. All right. Let's just see what happens in the last sort of 6 weeks of the season. That's when we'll really start.
Do you know what I'm saying though? Do you think he would suit England? His style of play. And...
Yeah, he would. He's that different option, isn't he? Because even Tony's not. I don't think even Tony's going to be in within a shout anymore, is it? And I think he was always kind of the different option to a Harry Kane. Yeah, whereas we haven't really got another different option.
Well, he'd be fighting with the Solanke type, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would.
But
Solanke's not playing, and things like that. So I think he's the obvious choice.
If you're a Leeds fan, that form, you're not worrying about England. By the way, you're thinking, right, keep that going, mate. We're going to stay up.
I'm pleased for Leeds because. They are a massive club.
Mate, they've been quite unlucky this season as well. You know, they've lost a lot of games in the last minute, last seconds of games where they've lost games.
It's a phenomenal place to go and play football.
Phenomenal place, mate.
You want to see teams like Leeds in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean?
Without doubt, you do. Yeah. But I tell you what, West Ham would have seen that game at full time and gone, oh no, we are in massive trouble here. We are in massive trouble. Here. And if you watch the Man City West Ham game, West Ham are in massive trouble here. Because if they didn't have Jarrod Bowen, if Jarrod Bowen gets injured, they are done and dusted.
Mate, but they're 5 points off Forest, and we were talking a minute ago about obviously Forest going to Fulham, whichever way that can pan out. If they both take a point, like West Ham are further away from it.
And the goal difference is brutal. West Ham's goal difference, it's another point on top. So it's 6 points theoretically, really. Their goal difference is
They need to start winning some games sharpish.
But they're only relying on Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen's the only one who's got a bit about him to go and actually want to try and do that. You watch the body language, honestly, go and watch the highlights back. Watch it of the West Ham players when the goals go in. Their body language is so bad. Reinder's goal, right? He sort of tiptoes in and just... He's got time to get the ball onto his right foot and then just put it in the roof of the net. And I'm watching the defenders alongside him. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, like...
Oh, the big trouble. The only chance they've got, West Ham, they're all looking at that Wolves fixture thinking, right, when's that coming? We've got a chance.
Well, look at the next 5. So West Ham's season, I think, hinges on this next 5. Yeah. So they've got Fulham home, Brighton home, Wolves away, Forest home, Spurs away, Sunderland at home. They've got to be getting 7 or 8 points from that.
Yeah, those next 6 games, if they don't get near on 10 points, they are in massive trouble.
Well, they are in huge trouble.
Yeah, but like we're saying here, they've got to win 3 of them games. Where's that coming from?
Yeah, I know. Spurs, probably.
Wolves.
Honestly, though, they're the ones...
Wolves have 3 points.
The problem with these games is, right, and I know you look at the league table sometimes, you go, you know what, let's theoretically say the top 6, that's not our season. We're not judging ourselves against games against these teams, right, because most of the time you're going to lose, right? But then you look at these pool of teams and you go, this is where we compete. This is where we want the free... But I feel like these Fulhams, Brightons, Forest, Spurs and Sunderland, I feel they have a bit more fight than what...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel they've got a bit more about them than what West Ham have got. At this moment in time, they don't seem to have much fighting on West Ham.
You'd just have that on your coupon, wouldn't you? And I think West Ham were happy to get out of there. Right, City away, 3-0. Right.
That was always going to be. It was always going to be.
Get on the bus at
3 or 4-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
What about City, though? Do you think now that after a year of kind of hit and miss, do you think that Pepper's transition this team? Do you think it's the next coming?
Not fully, and they're nowhere near what they used to be. Like the Man City of 3 or 4 years ago, they're not them. But I still think they are... Them and Arsenal are neck and neck in terms of quality, I think.
So you think that they've passed that blippy...
Yeah, I think they've passed the blip, yeah. And I still think they'll win the league. I do think they'll win the Premier League, but they're still not what they were. Without doubt, they haven't. They're starting to unearth some proper gems, like Cherki's. Like, obviously, everyone's raving about him, and he is. He's a fantastic player, but because he's delivering now, right? It's not just all kind of like, oh, it looks nice. These tricks are fantastic. Now, there's substance behind it as well, and that's the part is, can you actually translate that into assists and goals as well? But you know, Haaland just—he's on this. He does.
Well, when you've got him in your team, mate,
you've got a swap.
You've got an unbelievable chance.
Is he the best centre forward like ever? Like, as in terms of centre, I'm not talking ability. I'm talking goal scoring centre forward.
I'd say goal scorer.
In our time, is he the best?
It's a different question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
He's the best goal scorer of our time,
of our generation,
generation. Best goal scorer. Out and out. He's definitely not the best centre forward.
No.
There's been much better centre forward. There's much better footballers.
But R9.
Exactly. Yeah. But goal scorer, pure plunderage of goals.
Mate, he's a freak.
Phenomenal. And that's why City will be very, very close coming into the year.
Pep Guardiola, quickly before we move on, we've got the quiz coming soon, by the way. Pep Guardiola, after the game, said basically that over Christmas we're going to be weighing the players because, you imagine you've got a player today, but then he comes in on the 26th, 27th of December, just after Christmas, he's put 3 kilo on. That's a different person. That's a different player.
Yeah.
You're asking to break down. You're asking for an injury or a muscle injury or something. He says, I'm going to be weighing him. I don't want him eating shit, basically.
Isn't that just normal, though? Isn't that just normal?
Exactly normal. People.
So why is he saying it?
I don't know why he's saying it.
I think he's just trying to
keep him on the toes.
Just keep him on the toes. But every club will be doing it. I'm just. Thank fuck, I'm not at City. I don't want.
I hope that Fozzie don't get the scales out for us in the new year.
Oh, boys, it's good. Right, a couple more to do. Actually, one more to do. Bournemouth, Burnley.
Go on, Fozzie. Take us away on Bournemouth, Burnley.
Really too much to say, to be fair.
Bournemouth should have won.
No, they shouldn't have won, really. But Burnley were all right. Burnley I still back them to scrap games.
They are still scrapping.
They're still scrapping, and I don't mind it, to be perfectly honest with you. They were decent in this game. Bournemouth have fully lost their way, really.
What's happened? What's gone on?
I can't.
Because I think they've drawn 2 and lost 3.
They've fully lost their way massively. The last sort of couple of months have really fell off it quite a lot. Semenyo back to scoring goals at least.
Yeah.
It was a lovely finish, but still, I don't really know what's happening with Bournemouth.
They needed to get one over the line, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think that's what it is. They're getting it's like that, what's it called, twitchy bum time.
Yeah.
And I think when they've go a goal up or they're in games, they're kind of thinking, oh, God, but normally we lose now, we'll let one in here. And I think that's probably getting into their psyche a little bit.
So 65 mil buyout clause for Semenyo.
Yeah.
And I think it's only a certain period, is it a week or something within the transfer window?
Really?
There's some kind of stipulation there. But the 65 mil, I believe, is the buyout for him. So who's going to get him?
I don't know. That's what the problem is. A lot of teams have spent a lot of money, and the only teams that can spend that kind of money are the big boys, and they've all spent money. Man United are apparently linked with him quite a bit, but are they going to want to try and pull? They've got bigger problems, Man United have, than a Semenyo signing.
Well, would he win the league for a City or an Arsenal if he went to either? Is he got enough to get either? Because that's the challenge.
At Arsenal. I'd love to say about Arsenal.
Is this I feel like Trossard isn't respected enough.
Totally
right?
agree. I love Trossard.
Yet, if you were an Arsenal fan and said, right, Semenyo in, Trossard out, would you?
Yes.
Yes.
You would.
Yeah, and that isn't meant disrespectfully because he has been
Trossard's
brilliant.
But I don't think he is. I don't think he's your go-to guy for 38 games in the Premier League.
But he's a superb squad player.
Superb squad and works his socks off.
Yeah.
The reason why he's able to do what he does is because he's always willing.
His output's good.
He knows he might not start every game, but when he does start, he gives you everything. And when he comes on, he's got a big smile on his face and he's happy to go and do it.
For Arsenal to try and make what is the biggest step and win it, if you've got a player of Semenyo's ilk, you have to try.
Yeah.
And seriously think about that, don't you?
Yeah, because they've obviously, I think in the last 5 years, there's that boy. I think in the last 5 years, I think they've been top twice at Christmas and finished second. So I think January, is there that statement signing motto? You reckon that's needed?
I think just that stimulus to do it would inevitably just lift the group because that is top quality.
He's everybody says he's a lovely lad as well, like really good lad.
So well,
and I think that most of the time the problem with Arsenal signing players is they do it based on their personality as well. They have to be the right fit.
65 million quid to win the league.
Mate, 65 mil for him, I swear. You've got to do it, right? And he's a good lad. Willing to do it properly. Works his socks off. Yes, please.
So would you reckon so Arsenal, do you think, are the obvious fit?
The obvious fit is whether they've got the money to be able to do it and really want to go and do it.
So would if Spurs came in?
I don't even think he would want to go to Spurs.
No, I don't.
I don't think he would want to go to Spurs. It's too much of a risk.
They're dropping like a stone now, aren't
He wants to go to a team where he knows he can win trophies. If he goes to Arsenal, he will win trophies at Arsenal. Look at the Champions League. They're top of the league. Won every single game in the Champions League.
What a fit it'd be.
I know.
He can play on all fronts. Yeah. And he can actually get them over the line on some of these big competitions.
Liverpool can't... I don't think Liverpool have got...
Can't spend any more money.
I don't think Man City would. I just think Arsenal, Should we do the quiz?
Let's do the quiz.
Should we do the quiz?
I'm ready.
Last one before Christmas.
The Christmas quiz, by the way, is out on... Boxing Day. And it is a belter.
It's
is an absolute
exciting.
belter.
Oh.
Jamie put it together, and I've got to say, it's up there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a
Jamie.
cracking quiz.
It was a cracking quiz.
It's a cracking
Boxing
quiz,
Day,
yeah.
it's out. Fantastic.
YouTube, what is it, 8 a.m? Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Right, come on then, Christmas. Let's go.
Hello everyone, welcome to the quiz. The scores on the doors. We've got Tom still in the lead on 6. Watto, you're on 4. Toes is not here today, he's on 4. And Ben, you're on 3.
Thank you.
Robbo's on 1, but yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, mate.
Right. Question 1. Which team won the last Division 1 title, 91-92, before it became the Premier
Leeds.
League? Leeds is the correct answer. Well done, Tom.
Off to a good start. Come on.
Question 2. Morgan Rogers started his career at what
Middlesbrough.
club? West Brom is the correct answer. Well done, Ben. Straight out.
Good start, this.
Question 3. Where did Brentford sign Keane Lewis Potter from?
I know this.
I know this.
Where did Brentford sign Keane Lewis Potter from?
It's a Millwall.
No, not Millwall.
I think it was a lot of money. It was like 20,
No, not Bournemouth.
27 mil or something like that.
A lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh, who was
5.
this?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Brighton,
Nope, all out, all back in.
Exeter.
No, not Exeter.
Not for 27 mil.
Oh,
No.
gosh.
No, not for 27 mil. Keane Lewis Potter. I know this. Obviously, I don't, but
5, 4, 3.
Millwall.
I'm going to say West Ham.
He said Millwall, and it's not West Ham. The answer is Hull City. Hull City. Used to be a winger for Hull. And
Yeah.
scored like 25 goals.
And how much was it?
I don't know how much
I
it
think
was.
it was like
a lot of
27.
money,
I want
yeah.
to say
It was,
27 mil.
Yeah, it was good whack.
That's, well,
It was a record transfer signing, wasn't
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Question 4. What manager got Portsmouth promoted to the Premier League for the first time?
Harry Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp's
Can't
correct
be
answer.
that easy.
Well done,
Too
Watto.
easy.
Yeah, it is too.
Not too easy. Would
It
have got it
is.
right.
I,
Why not get it
I
right?
had Harry Redknapp, but I didn't want to say it because I just think it can't be that easy.
I think you're lying.
Even Cardiff is at you, mate.
Yeah, I mean, the card. He's got your cards.
Yeah, so how can you...
He does. He's
Take
nicked
them
them.
off him, Jamie.
No, you can have them 'cause I've got the backup.
1-1-1.
Question 5. Which player has the most Premier League appearances from Turkey?
Two guy.
No, not
Otto.
Tugay. Not Oz. Not Oz.
No, he's not, is he?
Not Turkish. He's German.
Yeah, but he's
Jerkish. Termini.
Turkey.
he was he born in
Something like that.
Yeah.
Tugay's second with 233. So which player has the most Premier League appearances from Turkey? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're out, Woe. You're all back in.
Emre Belözoğlu.
Nope.
As muzzy is it, Turkish?
That's the correct answer. Well done, Ben.
Oh, my God.
Did he answer it or did
He sort of like questioned. That's why I paused.
Well, just say no.
Muzzy
Just
is
say
it?
no
Muzzy
because
is
he's
it,
not
it's
answered
right
it. No, no,
Yeah.
5 seconds.
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Is it Muzzy?
Muzzy is it? Yeah. 200,
Pulled one out there, I weren't getting that.
Yeah.
248. You got
Yeah.
Very good.
2-1-1.
2, 1, 1. Question 6. What is the only trophy Dominic Calvert-Lewin has won at club level?
League Cup.
No, not the League Cup.
And then playoff final.
No,
Charity Shield.
no.
FA Cup final.
Didn't say you're all back in.
Okay.
So you're out, by the way.
That's proper
not a rule.
refereeing. That's proper. Oh,
Coming
that's...
too
Hey, I've
early.
had one
You
of
got
them,
too
Tom
early.
Anna.
You jumped in too early
Yeah,
then.
but you can't. You don't disallow me from the next one just because I jumped in early. You just say all back in and then I shout again.
Okay, all back in.
FA Cup final.
No, it's not FA Cup final.
You can't make rules up. You got my head there. That's not on
Yeah.
that.
So what was the question again, please?
What is the
I
only...
count them. No, he knows the
no,
question.
Ben,
He knows
Ben,
the question.
Ben, yellow
Just count
card.
them down.
Yellow card
Look,
for
he's
that.
stalling
He's
here.
allowed,
No, I'm not.
No,
Yes, he is.
He's not. He's allowed. He's allowed
Oh,
repeat
yeah.
of the question.
Well, you've just longed out an extra
What was the
20
question?
What is
please?
the only trophy Dominic Calvert-Lewin has won at
Oh, yeah,
club
imagine that.
level?
You didn't know that, did you?
League One champions.
No.
This is like a...
Oh my God, longest question ever.
5.
5
It's not a
seconds.
personal award,
4.
is it?
No.
No.
3, 2, 1. You're out. You won League 2 with Northampton Town. Yes.
I won't rate lines,
So
won't I?
you're close.
You were on rate lines.
Well,
Question.
He played you there.
He didn't play me. No,
didn't?
no, he genuinely didn't. He genuinely didn't. Question 7. What Canadian made his Premier League debut for Blackburn in 2009?
Paul Pesky-Salido.
No. I'll repeat the question.
I'm all out of Canadian players.
What Canadian made his Premier League debut for Blackburn in 2009 and currently still plays in Scotland for Hibernian?
Who?
Hibs.
Hibs. I'm going to say Hibs.
Hibernian.
I always say Hibernian.
You do. You do always say Hibernian.
5,
Canadian.
4,
He's a winger dash forward,
3,
and I can see him. But
2,
I ain't got it.
1. You're all out. All back in. What Canadian made his Premier League debut for Blackburn in 2009 and currently still plays in Scotland for Hibs?
It's a good question, that.
Don't know Hamey Jarvie.
Is that your answer?
Mate. Go on, tell us.
Go on.
The answer is Junior Hoylett.
Canadian?
I did not
No,
know.
nor me.
Junior Hoylett
Nor
was
me.
Canadian.
You were close, weren't you?
Oh,
Otto?
yeah,
You just couldn't get the name
Sure
out.
he's Canadian.
By the way, did you see Jamie on telly the other day?
On that?
On darts?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, my little sign up.
He went to the darts. You went to the Thursday night, and then you went to the Friday like
Yeah.
afternoon session.
Yeah.
And we were watching out just in case we saw him. And he had his little sign which said.
Gingers have souls too.
But the lighting didn't do you a good favour, did
It
it?
didn't.
It made you look a little bit tired and dead, didn't it?
Yeah,
I
pale.
wasn't good. I was actually being polite, and I didn't say that, but he did look a bit dead.
A bit
No,
tired.
because
Yeah.
we've been holding your sign up the whole time, trying to get everyone to notice you, and then
Too
you have
many
it down.
scoops, mate,
You
too
have
many
it
scoops.
down, and then like I'm watching someone down a pint, and I'm just watching them, and then they just get me, and it's like there's slow pan of like the
You
camera.
look soulless.
Yeah, it was sort of completely contradicting my sign.
I
yeah.
wanted you to be seen down in a pint.
Yeah.
Why weren't you down
Yeah.
in pints, Jay?
You don't
sorry.
drink pints?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Next question.
Sorry. Okay.
Shut up.
Question 8.
Got a quiz to win.
Scores on the doors is
2-1-1.
2.
Ben. And then me, what I got one in.
Who is the only Israeli manager to win Manager of the Month award?
Oh, Avram
Grant.
Avram Grant.
Oh,
And that
man.
is Tom.
Come on.
An easy question.
Why did you not say it then?
Because it's too obvious.
I forgot his name.
Question 9 is a career path question. I have played for Tottenham, Southampton loan, Southampton, West Ham. I have played for Tottenham, Southampton loan, Southampton, West Ham.
Carl Walker
Carl
Peters.
Peters.
Carl
Yeah.
Walker
Oh
Peters.
my
That was
God.
the correct
That was
answer, and it was Tom. It was Tom. Takes
Oh
the
my
lead.
God, I've had so many of these
You were
today.
so close.
Oh,
So close.
Otto, that's
Going-
that extra can of Guinness there that's just slowed you down a bit. And that extra glass of Chardonnay that's just made me get over the line.
So we're going into
3, 2,
the
1.
final question.
Ben's raging.
Trying to build suspense, and you're just like. Question 10. Who is the highest scoring Colombian in Premier League history?
Juan Pablo Angel.
Wow, that is the correct answer, which takes it
Yeah.
to a tiebreaker.
Well done.
How many
Yeah.
goals he scored?
It was quite a
I
few,
don't
wasn't
know.
it? 70
I
something
normally
or
have the
something.
stat, but I don't.
Oh, this is tense.
So for the tiebreaker question, we're going to get each of you to say one team each,
hate
and then you
this.
have to get the name of the player who's played for both clubs. So the
Okay.
example I use, if you play for Manchester United, if you say Manchester United and Manchester City, you could say Carlos Tevez.
Yeah.
So are you ready?
why not try
Yeah.
that one?
So who's saying it?
Ben and Tom, you're both going to say it.
Okay. I mean, should they not say it?
No,
Okay.
do it like this. Okay, you ready? I'm going to give you a countdown.
Yeah.
Got a team, Premier League team.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Sunderland.
Wolves. Jody Craddock.
Shit game. Does he just say Wolves because he's a massive Wolves fan?
Why
so
didn't
we
you
all
say
know
Spurs?
Wolves.
Why didn't you say Spurs then?
I'm not a massive Spurs fan.
Oh, Arsenal, sorry.
Shit game. Load of bollocks. Well done. Happy Christmas, everybody.
I'm not going to send you off. I'm not going to send you off.
Send me off. I don't give a
No,
fuck, all right?
no.
Send him
we're
off
ending
at
the quiz there.
Christmas.
Yeah, we can't send him off.
Oh,
at Christmas.
all right.
Thank you, everyone.
Did Jody Craddock play for
Yeah,
Sunderland?
he definitely.
Yes, he definitely did.
Yeah.
Well done, Ben. Happy Christmas.
Well done, mate.
Merry Christmas, team.
Happy Christmas.
Well done,
lads.
Jamie.
Happy
Happy
Christmas.
Christmas. Good
Well
day.
done, everybody.
Happy
Great
Christmas.
quiz today, Jay. Brilliant
Thank you.
quiz.
Thank you.